ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ryan Awesome. And welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, today on the Ryan Awesome Show, I'll be talking about NXT, WWE NXT for March 10th, 2021. And overall, man, this show it was okay. It wasn't the best show, but it was good. It was okay. You know, some things on the show I did like. I did love the women's match, the championship match with Io Shirai and Toni Storm, and I did love the main event, Adam Cole versus Finn Balor for the NXT championship. But there are also other things on the show that I did not like, and I'm gonna get into that when I get through the show. But if you haven't done this already, hit the thumbs up, man. What are you waiting for? Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you'll be the first ones to know when my next video will come out, because I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. So yeah, we started off the show with the general manager of NXT, William Regal. And so yeah, he had two announcements, and they were hyping it up last week that Mr. Regal has two announcements. And so yeah, the first announcement was about NXT Takeover. And so yeah, they announced NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver, and they're gonna have two nights, like how WrestleMania has two nights. And so yeah, NXT Takeover has two nights. So night one is gonna be on Wednesday, April 7th, on the USA Network, and night two is gonna be on Thursday on the Peacock streaming service, and that's Thursday, April 8th. And so I don't know why they putting Takeover at two nights. I don't know why they not why can't they just save it for next month, or have some of the NXT guys show up on WrestleMania? I don't know. Why is it that a takeover is on Wednesday and Thursday during the week? And why is it not on Saturday and Sunday? I do not know. And during WrestleMania weekend, why does NXT need a takeover? Like, I don't get it. They should not have a takeover. They should not have a takeover during WrestleMania week. You could have at least had one NXT talent show up on WrestleMania. You could have had the NXT Championship show up on WrestleMania, but no. But yeah, that was it with that. And so the second announcement was, so yeah, Mr. Regal, he announced the second announcement, and so this is what he said, what he had to say.
NXT
Stand and deliver.
continue its trend in making history. And for the second announcement, we will stand and deliver, and tonight will be no different. I have asked the ladies from the women's division to join us tonight.
You have the women's roster on the stage.
Each and every week, these ladies prove that they are the greatest women in the wrestling business.
They are. They are.
To be a competitor in NXT, in the ladies division, you have to be very special. And these ladies prove it week in and week out. And as the winners of the 2021 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, could you please join me in the ring?
And they walked up to the stage. Walked up in the ring.
After the unfortunate happenings of last week and the injustice of the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship that I'm afraid that you had to go through. I am sick and tired of waiting for other people to make the decisions for me. So, the NXT team have decided to make a decision ourselves. And being that you were the winners of the Dusty Cup, from tonight, going forward, you are the new NXT Women's Champions.
When they presented the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. Nice looking belts, but
Congratulations, you both deserve it to be the new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions.
Oh, wow! This is insane! Mr. Eagle, you're right. This really is the most talented division in the world. And we went through every single one of you. We beat you all! Don't shake your head at me, we would have beat you anyway! We dominated the division so much, we had to create these NXT Tag Team Championships just for us. Wasn't that right, Raquel? Oh, that's right. And this is just the first step into us taking over the entire world. Y'all better get used to this, because we're gonna carry these championships for a very long time. Let us be the first
Shotzi Blackheart and Ember
to
Moon
congratulate you.
interrupt the speech, the celebration.
Congratulations, guys. It's amazing, truly. NXT Women's Tag Titles.
Yeah, that's great. It's amazing. And if we're going to have champions, you're going to need challengers.
That's right, Ember.
In the Dusty, you guys beat everyone in your bracket. But we did the same in our bracket. Ain't that right, Shotzi?
Sure did.
But in the finals, it could have gone either way.
Either way.
So what we're getting at here is, why don't you defend those titles against us?
Tonight.
That would have been, I know.
Ladies, you make my job so easy. Again, we will make history tonight. For the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships, it will be Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai versus Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart.
And that was it. So they unveiled the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships, and Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai are the first ever NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. And so, yeah, this is my problem with this. I have a problem with this. Why do they need NXT Women's Tag Team titles when they have the Women's Tag Team Championships on the main roster that floats on all three brands? You have the Women's Championship that float on Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So what's the point of having NXT Women's Tag Team titles when you have a Women's Tag Team title that floats on all three brands? I don't understand that. And the thing is, dude, Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, when they fought Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax for the Women's Tag Team titles, they should have won those titles. And those titles should have stayed in NXT. Because on Raw and SmackDown, they don't have no division. They don't have no tag team division. I said this time and time again. The main roster, Raw and SmackDown, they don't have no tag teams. For the men and the women, they don't have no tag teams. They break up tag teams. They make up tag teams. Like, dude, there's no division on those shows. NXT is the only division. It's the only division that have a tag team. And so yeah, man, I didn't like it. I did not like this. And the match itself, I'm gonna get into that later on. But the result of the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship match, I didn't like that either. I didn't like the outcome of the match. But I'm gonna get into that. And so yeah, that was it with that segment. The two announcements. Takeover is gonna be 2 nights. Didn't like that. And the women's tag team titles, NXT Women's Tag Team titles unveiled. Did not like that either. And so yeah, right after this, we had our first match of the night, and it was for the NXT Women's Championship. And it was Toni Storm versus Io Shirai, the NXT Women's Champion, the Joshi Judas. And so yeah, this is a good match to start off the show. And so yeah, we had a big boot to Shirai, follow up by a hip attack, and then Io Shirai, she drop kicked Toni Storm, and then she chopped Toni Storm over and over and over again. And then Shirai, she tried to go for a high flying move, but Toni Storm, she yanked her off the ring apron, and so she hit face first on the ring apron. And then Toni Storm had threw her into the turnbuckle. Not the turnbuckle, but the steel steps. And so, yeah, right after that, Toni Storm, she was taking control of the match. And, she was throwing her around and stuff. And then Io Shirai, she ended up fighting back. She had a flapjack on Storm, followed up by a 619, followed up by a springboard dropkick. And then at one point, Shirai, she stopped Toni Storm. And then she hit a superplex on Shirai. And so, yeah, Toni Storm, she was fighting back. She hit a superplex on Shirai. And then she hit a sliding clothesline to Shirai. And then Toni Storm, she hit a German suplex. And then she hit a bridge with it. So, yeah, it was a German suplex turned into a bridge. And then Shirai, she kicked out. And then Shirai, she hit an outside moonsault to Storm. And then they went back into the ring. And then Toni Storm, she hit Shirai with a sit-out powerbomb. And Shirai, she kicked out. And then Toni Storm, she tried to go for a finishing move to Storm Zero. And then Shirai, she escaped it. And then Shirai, she locked in the crossface submission move. And then Toni Storm, she grabbed the rope. And then Shirai, she tried to go for a finishing move, her moonsault. And then Storm, she moved out of the way. And then Toni Storm, she did end up hitting the Storm Zero. So she hit a finishing move to Storm Zero. And then Shirai, she kicked out of the Storm Zero. And then, Storm, she was going on the top rope. She hit a diving headbutt. She tried to hit a diving headbutt, but Shirai, she moved out of the way. And then she locked in a crossface. And so, yeah, she locked in the crossface. And then Storm, she tapped out. And that was it. And so Io Shirai, she wins and is still the NXT Women's Champion. And now this was a great match. Great match to start off the show. Great back and forth. Io Shirai looked good. Toni Storm looked good. And Io Shirai is still the NXT Women's Champion. And she's been a dominant champion. A dominant champion her entire reign. And so, yeah, Io Shirai, she won. Rightfully so. Toni Storm, I knew Toni Storm wasn't going to win. Because they mentioned it on commentary. It was like, oh, Io Shirai, she never beat Toni Storm one-on-one. Because they got history dating back to the Mae Young Classic. When Toni Storm won the Mae Young Classic, she beat Io Shirai in the finals. And so ever since then, Shirai, she couldn't beat Toni Storm, and she ended up getting a win. She beat Toni Storm fair and square. And yeah, so Io Shirai is not losing that title. She is not losing that title. Now, who's the next contender? The next contender for the NXT Women's Championship, it might end up to be Raquel Gonzalez. It might be Raquel Gonzalez, either Raquel Gonzalez or Xia Li. And so, yeah, I think she's going to get past Raquel Gonzalez, and then she's going to end up fighting Xia Li. And so that's what I think is going to happen. But, yeah, that was a great match to start off the show. And so, yeah, right after this, we have Finn Balor, the NXT champion, and he speaks. He talks about Adam Cole. And so this is what he had to say about Mr. Adam Cole.
Two biggest names in NXT history. You were talking real tough last week, Adam. Acting the big man with a bunch of referees holding you back. Well, remember, you're a one-man act now. Might not be anyone to hold you back, but there's no one to back you up. Tonight, No blindsides, no cheap shots. Just me and you, face to face. Go back.
For that, the NXT Championship.
And remember, I beat you to win that, and I'll beat you to keep it.
And that was it. That was it from Finn Balor. You know, his final thoughts on what he had to say before he fight Adam Cole. And so, yeah, right after this, we had McKenzie Mitchell. She tried to interview LA Knight. And so this is what happened.
LA Knight, since coming to NXT, you've had a lot to say. And last week, you certainly made your presence felt. You requested this time. What's on your mind?
Let me talk to you. You know, last week, everybody was thinking, oh, man, I think it's going to be LA Knight's in-ring debut, right? Wrong. But I'll put it to you like this. Spoiler alert for everybody out there. Guess what? Next week, I think that time's about to come. I think if anybody can step up, find enough tingle in their loins to step in the ring with LA Knight, they're going to find out exactly how that ends up. And that's not an insult. That is just a fact of life.
Uh-oh. Bronson Reed attacks Eli Drake. Because remember, and that was it with that. You know, LA Knight, he will be in a match next week, his debut match next week. And the reason why Bronson Reed, he attacked LA Knight was because, you know, LA Knight, he cost Bronson Reed a match. He made Bronson Reed lose to Cameron Grimes, so he cost him a match against Cameron Grimes. So that's why, you know, Bronson Reed is upset. And so, yeah, we might be getting LA Knight versus Bronson Reed, you know, later on, you know, right after he get through, you know, his matches. And so, yeah, that was it with that. And so, yeah, right after this, we had a match. It was Jake Atlas versus Pete Dunne with Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, the NXT Tag Team Champions, in his corner. And, man, this is a brutal match. A brutal match. Like, man, Pete Dunne, he beat the crap out of Jake Atlas. He was tearing this dude down. It was a beatdown, dude. It was a beatdown. And so, yeah, Dunne, he targeted Atlas's hand. Of course he did. And, you know, Pete Dunne, not Pete Dunne. Jake Atlas, he had a hurricane into Dunne, so Atlas is trying to fight back. And then Dunne, he kicked Atlas in the arm. And, you know, Pete Dunne, he continued to target the arm. And then Jake Atlas, he tried to fight back again, but it's not working. He had a kick to Dunne. And then we had a German suplex to Dunne, followed up by a kick, followed up by a standing moonsault. And Dunne, he kicked out. And then at one point, Dunne, he was stomping on Atlas's face. And then, you know, Pete Dunne, he grabbed Jake Atlas's hand and his fingers. And so he snapped the fingers. He snapped Jake Atlas's fingers, and he locked in the armbar. And so he locked in the armbar, and so Jake Atlas, he tapped out. So Pete Dunne, he wins the match. And that was it. And so, yeah, right after that, Pete Dunne, he had something he wanted to say right after his win.
See, this is the time of year that everybody wants to step up their game. Well, you step up to me, and that's exactly what happens. See, I've made a name for myself in the UK, but don't get it twisted. I'm the best technical wrestler in the entire world. And I dare somebody try and prove me wrong.
And that was it. Saying that he's the best technical wrestler. And he wants someone to prove him wrong. Who that person will be, I don't know. But we'll have to find out. And so, yeah, right after this, we had Imperium. That's three-fourths of Imperium. We had Marcel, Barthel, Fabian, Aichner, and Alexander Wolfe with no Walter. Walter is in the UK. He's in the United Kingdom. So yeah, they missing their leader. And so this is what Imperium had to say. And they're talking about Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa. And so this is what they had to say about it. About Ciampa and Thatcher.
Tim, entire NXT universe is talking about us. What I said last week, what I proposed to you. A long, long time ago, we created something very special. Something only we could have created. Something so unique. Nobody ever would be able to represent it like we did. What I want you to do right now, Tim, is to take your rightful spot. Step in. And together, let's take what's always been ours. Tim, we're here for you. We're doing all this for you. But if you have to go ask your friend for permission, then please, bring him along. We'll still make it work out of respect for you. Because we're taking over, no matter what.
And that was it with Imperium. So they want to recruit Timothy Thatcher to the Imperium. And so, yeah, that turned out to be a match next week. So it's going to be Fabian Aichner and Marcel Barthel versus Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. And that's next week. And so, yeah, right after this, we had Leon Ruff. He spoke. He was talking about Isaiah Swerve Scott. And, you know, he challenged Isaiah Swerve Scott next week. And so this is what Leon Ruff had to say.
Let's talk about it, Swerve. Let's talk about it. I knew you were a snake the moment I met you. You want to say I tripped and fell into my opportunities? I'm so sick of people thinking that I lucked into this. I busted my ass to get here. I scratched and I clawed for everything that I've gotten. And it wasn't luck when I beat you 2 weeks ago. And you want to walk around and think you own the place, say this is Swerve's house. Leon Ruff was the one holding it down since he got here, from opening match to main event. And next week, it's going to be Leon Ruff again holding you down in another rough landing.
And that was it. That's what Leon Ruff had to say about Isaiah Swerve Scott. Leon Ruff is a joke, man. He is a joke. I cannot take this dude seriously, man. The fact that he been North American champion is a joke. The fact that he beat Johnny Gargano is a joke. The fact that he beat Isaiah Swerve Scott is a joke. He's just a joke, man. Like I'm not a fan of him, dude. Yeah, right after this, we had a match. It was the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship match. And it was Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, the first ever NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. And so yeah, this was good, but I did not like the outcome. Did not like the outcome. And so yeah, we had a drop kick to Gonzalez from Moon. So yeah, Blackheart and Moon, they try to end the match early. And so yeah, Shotzi, she locked in the submission move, the cloverleaf submission to Kai. And then it took time for Dakota Kai to fight out of it, but she ended up grabbing a rope. And then Kai and Blackheart, at one point they kicked each other in the face, so they knocked each other out. And then we had an assisted stomp to Shotzi from Kai. And then we had a pump kick to Shotzi Blackheart from Dakota Kai. And then we had an enziguri kick to Kai from Shotzi. And we had a hot tag to Moon. She took out Kai and Gonzalez. And then she had a running senton to Kai. And then Moon, she had a cold breaker to Gonzalez. And then, yeah, Shotzi, she had a tope suicida to Gonzalez. And then Dakota Kai, she gave Ember Moon a corner boot to the face. And then we had a assisted go to kick to Ember Moon from Dakota Kai, and Moon, she kicked out. And then we had a double crossbody to Kai and Gonzalez. And then, yeah, we had knee strikes and kicks to Dakota Kai from Shotzi Blackheart. And then we had a springboard splash to Kai from Moon, and she kicked out. And then at one point, not Dakota Kai, Ember Moon, she tried to go for a finishing move, the Eclipse, but not Dakota Kai, Gonzalez, Raquel Gonzalez, she blocked it. She blocked the Eclipse. And dude, I've never seen anybody block the Eclipse. Never. Usually when Ember Moon hit the Eclipse, she hit it. But Raquel Gonzalez, man, she reversed it. She blocked it. And so, yeah. And then at one point, we had Ember Moon and Gonzalez, they were fighting. Yeah, I think Raquel Gonzalez, she had Ember Moon in a powerbomb position, and they were near the ropes. And so Shotzi Blackheart, she kicked, or she knocked Dakota Kai into Gonzalez and Moon, so they both fell out of the ring. And so Shotzi Blackheart, she rolled up Dakota Kai for the win. So 1, 2, 3. And Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon, they won the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships, and that was it. And so yeah, I did not like the outcome. I did not like it because what like you first off, man, you gave Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, the first ever women's Dusty Rhodes Team Classic. You give them that, and then you try to give them a championship match against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, and they got screwed over. And then you create a new tag team championship for the women in NXT, the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships, and you crown them on the same night, those tag team titles, and then you have them lose them on the same night. Like, dude, what was the point? What was the point of that? What was the point of having the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships if you were gonna do that? What was the point of doing that? And so I did not like that, dude. I did not like that. Did not like that. And so yeah, that's one of the one things I didn't like on this show, man, was that the outcome of this match. And you know, it just felt like it was a waste of time. It was a waste of time. And so now not only are they the first ever NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, but they're the shortest reigning NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. And so yeah, that was it with that. So yeah, right after this we had Adam Cole, and he talked about Finn Balor, his response to Finn Balor. And so this is what Mr. Bay had to say.
You know, a lot of people have been asking me why I did what I did, but instead, I'm going to explain how we got here. Because a couple of weeks ago, Kyle O'Reilly, he decided to step out of line. What I do, I put him in his place. And Roderick Strong, old Roddy Strong, decided to play tough guy. And I beat him where he stood, and I reminded both of those chumps who the leader of the Undisputed Era is. And do not get me wrong, the Undisputed Era is dead when Adam Cole says it's dead. As far as I'm concerned, I got rid of the dead weight. Which brings us to tonight. Because Boys and Girls Takeover, it comes 4 weeks early, because it's Adam Cole versus Finn Balor for the NXT Championship. Finn, you think you've got me right where you want me. Well, the reality is, I played you like a fiddle. Because Finn, this has been always about the NXT Championship, and it will always be about that. Because Finn, a lot of people look at you as the greatest NXT champion of all time. And then I showed up.
Yeah.
Then I had that legendary 403-day reign as the greatest NXT champion there has ever been. I beat everybody, NXT, Raw, SmackDown, you name it, I did it. And tonight, I become a 2-time NXT champion. And Finn, if you thought my first reign as NXT champion was something special, trust me, you ain't seen nothing yet.
And that was it. That's what Adam Cole had to say. That he will become a 2-time NXT champion. And so yeah, that was it. And so yeah, right after that, we had Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. They celebrated their NXT Women's Tag Team Championship reign, or their victory. And so this is what happened. Oh yeah, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell in the background, not happy about it.
Should have been you guys.
Yeah, obviously.
You seen Austin
No,
anywhere?
he was just
No,
here.
I-
I don't.
Did you pay the therapist off last week?
Yeah, I did.
Why would you pay her?
Therapy ain't free.
Well, that is true.
And I spared no expense. I got you the best that money could buy. And it's a good thing I did, because now you know exactly how Dexter feels about you.
Are you crying, man? What are you?
No, I'm mad.
Good, good. You should be. You should want to rip his head off.
He said you were annoying. He said you don't know how to dress yourself. And he said you have a mediocre abdominal region.
I can't take this anymore. He
ripped
has
off his shirt.
crossed the line, Johnny.
He's fired up.
Wow.
And that was it. That was it with the way. And so it's gonna be a match. It's gonna be Austin Aries. Not Austin Aries. Austin Theory. Austin Theory versus Dexter Lumis next week on NXT. And so yeah, right after this we had a match, a women's match, and it was Kayden Carter. Kayden Carter versus Xia Li with Boa and Mai Ying in our corner. And so yeah, this wasn't even much of a match, dude. This match ended in a disqualification. And so yeah, we had a drop kick to Lee. We had kicks to Carter. And so yeah, if Carter, she tried to fight back. We had a super kick to Lee, followed up by a big boot. Lee, she kicked out. And then Lee, she targeted Carter's leg. And so Case Catanzaro, she came out. She was cheering on her friend, Kayden Carter. And so Lee, she was continuing to target the leg. And so, yeah, Xia Li, she tried to break Carter's leg the same way how she broke Catanzaro's leg. And so, yeah. And so Catanzaro, who came out in crutches, she had grabbed her crutch and she hit Xia Li with the crutch. So it was a disqualification. So Xia Li, she won by disqualification. And so, yeah, right after the match, Catanzaro, she got in the ring, started hitting Xia Li with the crutch. And so Boa, he had gotten away. He got in the ring. And then Mai Ying, she had signaled Boa to attack. And so she does this thing with her hand when she say attack. And so this is what she did. She went like that. So that meant attack. And so Boa, he walked up to Catanzaro. And so Catanzaro, she tried to hit Boa with the crutch. And so Boa, he grabbed the crutch, took the crutch away from Case Catanzaro, and he broke the crutch. He broke the crutch in half. And so, yeah. So, yeah, he broke the crutch, and he walked up to Casey. And then from behind, we had Kayden Carter with the other crutch. Had hit Boa in the back with the crutch, and so they fled. So, not Xia Li. Kayden Carter and Casey Catanzaro, they fled. They fled away. And so that was it. That was it with that. And so, yeah, right after this, we had a video. We had a video of a person that likes to call himself the Ace. And he's a former NXT Cruiserweight champion. And his name is Jordan Devlin, who I'm a huge fan of. And this is what Mr. Devlin had to say of NXT UK. Jordan Devlin, the real NXT Cruiserweight champion. So this is what he had to say.
I absolutely love this time of year. So much to be excited about. Summer's right around the corner. WrestleMania season. NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver is coming up in a couple of weeks. The only thing I don't like is this Irish weather, man. Could really use a change of scenery. And it would be an awful shame if the biggest takeover in history didn't have the NXT Cruiserweight champion on the card. The real one, I mean. So, lucky for me, and lucky for NXT, my travel ban exemption got lifted today.
Ooh.
And that means for you, Escobar, your time playing make-believe is up. I'm coming to NXT next week, and we are going to find out once and for all who the real NXT Cruiserweight champion is.
Yes. And that was it. So Jordan Devlin, he will be in NXT next week. The real NXT Cruiserweight champion. And so yeah, the reason why, Jordan Devlin, we had an interim Cruiserweight championship tournament because, Jordan Devlin, he was, because of the pandemic, he couldn't come to the United States. And so we needed a Cruiserweight champion in NXT. So that's why they had the championship tournament. And then Escobar ended up winning it under Fantasma. wearing the mask and stuff like that, and so he revealed himself to be Santos Escobar. And so, yeah, Santos Escobar, he was the interim cruiserweight champion, but Jordan Devlin, he is the real cruiserweight champion. And so, a Jordan Devlin versus a Santos Escobar match, man. Yes, dude, take my money, dude. I'm all for that match, dude. And so, yeah, so next week is gonna be Jordan Devlin versus Santos Escobar. I'm guessing. I'm guessing. But I'll save that for a takeover, man. That's a takeover match. And so, yeah, that was it with that. And so right after this, we had a video package of Zoey Stark, the newcomer, Zoey Stark. And yeah, we got to know who she is. And so here's who she is.
I'm Zoey Stark. There were quite a few things from my childhood that I've seen that were very rough. Growing up on the wrong side of those tracks, I had two roads. One road was continue living my life this way, or another road was to live a better life for myself and for my family. Professional wrestling was my escape. If I was mad, upset, or anything, I would turn on wrestling. It was just my favorite thing in the world.
Zoey Stark making her NXT singles debut.
Oh, she's, yeah, very tough. I just get her.
Ended up graduating and really start chasing my dream. I found a school. I signed right up for it when I was 18 and started my training. Going to the gym really helps me relax, and it puts my mind at focus, and I know exactly where I'm going. And always wondering if I am ever going to make it, and then I get the phone call for the WWE tryout, and then to hear that they actually want to offer me a job, it was so mind-blowing. To be here every single day is just amazing. I'm so blessed. As soon as I stepped into that NXT ring, all my insecurities had to go out of the window. I knew where I belonged. This was home. This is everything I worked so hard for. It was time to show the world what I could do. If you're a powerhouse, I'm a powerhouse too. If you're a striker, I did several years in jiu-jitsu and MMA. I love chain wrestling. I can handle that all day long. In that ring, I just let it all out. Anything that I'm mad at, I let it all out in that ring. And I'm putting every woman here on notice. Hard work pays off. There is no limit to Zoey Stark.
And that was it. That was it from Zoey Stark and her quest in the NXT Women's Division. And so yeah, I could tell, man, that they love this woman, dude. They love her, man. They're gonna push her. They're gonna push her to the top because they push her in her second match, dude. Her second match, they put her in the ring with Io Shirai in a non-title match. So yeah, man, they love her, man. They love her. And so yeah, that was it from Zoey Stark. Can't wait to see what's next for her. And so yeah, right after this we had Santos Escobar, the cruiserweight champion, NXT cruiserweight champion. And you know, he's upset. He's upset that Jordan Devlin is coming back to the United States. And so yeah, he was arguing with Mr. Regal, you know, saying that I'm the real cruiserweight champion. I'm the real NXT cruiserweight champion. And so yeah, he was yapping at Mr. Regal, and then Legado del Fantasma, they came out. Joaquin, Wilde, and Raul Mendoza, they came out. They was getting ready for their match. And so Santos Escobar, he was like, "All right, you guys go take care of business while I talk to Mr. Regal." And so yeah, that was it. And so yeah, we had a match, a tag team championship match, not a tag team championship match, a tag team match. And it was Legado del Fantasma, Joaquin Wilde, and Raul Mendoza versus the grizzled young veterans. That's Zach Gibson and James Drake. This match, man, it was embarrassing. The ending was embarrassing. This wasn't even much of a match. Wasn't even much of a match. The way that this match ended, dude, it was goofy, man. It was really goofy. It was terrible, man. So yeah, we had a hurricane into Drake. Mendoza hit a hurricane on Drake. And then we had an assisted dropkick to Gibson from Wilde. And so at that point, right after that, we had two guys that walked out. They were dressed as astronauts. They was wearing an astronaut suit. And so we thought it was Breezango, but it wasn't Breezango. And so yeah, so Legado del Fantasma, they thought it was Breezango, and they were distracted. And so yeah, Grizzly Young Veterans, they took advantage of this distraction. And then the two guys, they ended up taking off the helmets, and it was MSK, Nash Carter and Wesley. And so now the Grizzly Young veterans, they thrown off and they distracted. And so Legado del Fantasma, they took advantage. Joaquin Wilde, he rolled up Drake for the win. So there was a 1-2-3, and that was it. So Legado del Fantasma, they won the match. And so, yeah, right after the match, we had the Grizzly Young veterans. They tried to attack MSK for costing them the match. And so MSK, they ended up hitting the Grizzly Young veterans with the astronaut helmets. And then one of them had hit Zach Gibson in the hand with the helmet. You know, paying, revenge for what they did to Wesley. And so, yeah. So, yeah, while they were beating up MSK, no, while they were beating up the Grizzly Young veterans, we had Legado del Fantasma. They were in the ring. They were laughing. That the Grizzly Young veterans got beat down. And so from behind, you had Breezango, you had Tyler Breeze, and Fandango. They attacked Legado del Fantasma from behind because, remember last week when they attacked Breezango, when they were making their entrance and stuff like that. So that's why Breezango, they came out and attacked Legado del Fantasma. And so, yeah, they beat up Legado del Fantasma. And right after that, we had Breezango and then MSK. They celebrated by dancing. So that was it. Really, really embarrassing. The tag team division in NXT, man, it is terrible, man. It is not good. You do have some great tag teams in NXT. You got the Grizzly Young veterans. You have MSK, they're good. You had the Undisputed Era, man. You have Imperium. But everybody else, man, they're made up tag teams. Oh yeah, Legado del Fantasma, you have them too. And everybody else, man, they just made up tag teams. So they need to do a better job. They need to do a better job with their tag team division. It seems like they're getting better with it, but by adding more teams, but they still need to do better with their tag team. And so, yeah, right after this, we have McKenzie Mitchell. She interviews Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Why? I don't know. I don't know why you trying to interview Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai after they lost. And so, yeah, this is what happened.
Dakota, Raquel, certainly a night full of emotions for you both, from becoming the first ever NXT Women's
Mac, you saw what happened, okay? Stop asking stupid questions. It doesn't matter if it was for 5 seconds, 5 days, or 5 weeks. We were the first ever NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, okay? We made history. What?
Io Shirai interrupted.
歴史を語るのはまだ早いんじゃねえか
Gets in Raquel Gonzalez's face.
I want you next.
Be careful what you wish for, Chiquita.
So yeah, that was it. So Io Shirai, she challenges. She want Raquel Gonzalez. And so yeah, Raquel Gonzalez, she never got in her championship match. So now she's getting her championship match. She's getting her championship match that she earned. And so yeah, that should be really good. I don't think I could see Raquel Gonzalez beating Io Shirai, but I don't think Io Shirai is losing that title. I don't think she's losing that title. And so yeah, that's next. Whenever it is, might be at TakeOver. But yeah, that should be really good. Io Shirai versus Raquel Gonzalez. Yes. And so yeah, right after this, we had McKenzie Mitchell. She interviews Timothy Thatcher. And their response to Imperium. And so this is what happened.
Thatcher, earlier tonight, Imperium revealed their plan of trying to take over NXT, and they tried to recruit you and Ciampa. How do you respond to that?
I don't know what you're thinking, man, but I know my answer. I'm not interested. I'll tell you what I am interested in is the general. The guy who sits safely across the pond, holding on to his NXT UK title, while his recruits come here and do his bidding for him. That's intriguing to me. And let's not put the cart before the horse. You know the old saying, if you're not with them, you're against them. I think we're against them. So 2 versus Timmy, old man Ciampa, versus Imperium, next week on NXT. That sounds good to me.
That was it. Now, Tommaso Ciampa, he mentioned Walter in NXT UK. Could we be seeing a Tommaso Ciampa versus a Walter match for the NXT UK title? Walter, man, oh my God, the clash of styles that they'll have in that match, man. And man, Walter is good, man. A guy his size moving the way he moved, man, really, really impressive, dude. Like a guy his size should not be moving like that. And so yeah, so we might be seeing a Ciampa versus Walter match in the near future. Can't wait, man. Can't wait. And yeah, so yeah, that should be good. So yeah, so for next week's show for NXT, it's gonna be Dexter Lumis versus Austin Theory, and then we have Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Leon Ruff. Isaiah Swerve Scott should win and get this chump Leon Ruff out of the way. And so yeah, right after that, next we have LA Knight. He'll be debuting next week, and Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa versus Fabian Aichner and Marcel Barthel with Alexander Wolfe in their corner, Imperium. And yeah, those are all the matches that were announced on the show. And so yeah, right after this was the main event, and it was for the NXT Championship. So first it was Adam Cole versus Finn Balor, the NXT Champion. I still don't like the crowd reaction. I still don't like the crowd reaction. How they booing Adam Cole, Like they tell these people who to cheer and who to boo for. Like, I don't like it, man. I don't like it. I do not like how they tell these people who to cheer for and who to boo for. Because Adam Cole, his entire time he was a heel in NXT, never got booed. Never got booed. They always did the Adam Cole babies and the boom and all that stuff. And now, man, they still booing him. But yeah, they were both going at it, back and forth. We had a drop kick to Cole, and we had a pump kick to Balor. And then at one point, Cole he threw Balor into the plexiglass, so they were fighting outside the ring. Cole threw Balor in the plexiglass, and then Balor he drop kicked Cole in the knee at one point, so he was targeting the leg. And then Balor he chopped Cole, and then Balor he targeted Cole's leg. And then we had a double foot stomp to Cole, insecurity kick to Balor, and then Balor he kicks Cole in the gut at one point. And then while Balor he was tied up to the rope, we had Adam Cole, he had Balor with a pump kick, and then Cole he exposed the steel steps that was outside the ring. And then we had a Balor he superplexes Cole on the stage, not suplex. He suplexed him on the stage, and then they were going back and forth with strikes. And then Cole he had his patella drop on Balor, he kicked out. And then Cole he tried to hit the Panama Sunrise, and then but Finn Balor he moved out of the way, and then he hit a sling blade on Cole, and then he followed it up with a corner drop kick, and then Balor he went for the coup de grace, but Cole moved out of the way. And then we had a super kick to Balor. Balor kicked out. And then Cole, he locked in the crossface submission move to Balor. And then Balor fought out of it. And then Cole, right after Balor fought out of it, Cole, he locked in the crossface again. And so Balor, he grabbed the rope. And then Balor hit Cole with a clothesline. And then we had a super kick to Balor's knee. And then Cole, he followed up with the last shot, his finish move, the last shot, but Balor kicked out. And then Cole, he went for his other finishing move, the Panama Sunrise, and then Balor, he kicked out of the Panama Sunrise. And so, yeah. Cole, he tried to go for the Panama Sunrise again. Not the Panama Sunrise, he tried to go for the last shot again. But Balor, he sent Cole out of the ring. He threw Cole out of the ring. And so Cole, he was leaning up on a barricade, and out of nowhere, Kyle O'Reilly. He walked out from the crowd and just stared down Adam Cole. And Adam Cole, he was shocked, no pun intended. And so, but O'Reilly, he did not attack Adam Cole. And then, so Balor, he had a tope con hero to Cole. I mean, not a tope con hero. He had a tope suicida, I believe. No, it was a tope con hero. He had a tope con hero to Cole. And then he brought him back into the ring. No, he didn't. He hit a 1916. He hit a 1916 on Cole outside of the ring on the floor. And then he brought Cole back into the ring. And then he hit his finishing move, the coup de grace, to Cole to win the match. And that was it. So Finn Balor, he wins the match and is still the NXT champion. And this is a great match too. One of the best matches on the show. And so, yeah, I knew Cole wasn't going to win. You know, that title was going to Kross. So the money match is Kross versus Balor. And that title was going right to Kross. And so, yeah, right after the match, we had O'Reilly. You know, he was walking to the ring. He was walking into the ring. And then, you know, getting ready to beat up Cole. And then, you know, Cole, he was pleading for mercy. Like, please don't beat me up and stuff like this. Like, Kyle, I didn't mean to do it. I'm sorry and stuff like that. And so he was trying to talk to Kyle. And then Cole, he tried to low blow Kyle. And so Kyle O'Reilly, he grabbed Adam Cole's arm. And then Cole, who was wearing the Undisputed Era's armband, you know, Cole, he was wearing the armband. O'Reilly, he saw it. And so he grabbed the armband, and he ripped it off. He ripped off the armband, and he threw it to the ground. He threw it on the ground, and he beat up Adam Cole. And so, yeah, he was beating up Adam Cole. And, you know, referee, at one point, one referee was trying to break it up. And so Kyle O'Reilly, he pushed the referee to the ground. Now, he's going to get fined for that. He will get fined for that, for putting his hands on the referee. So, yeah, he pushed the referee to the ground. And then Cole, he tried to fight back. At one point, he did hit him with a kick, an insecurity kick at one point. And then O'Reilly, you know, O'Reilly ended up, you know, getting the upper hand on Cole. And so O'Reilly, he tried to hit a brainbuster on Cole, the same move that put O'Reilly out. So he tried to do that to Cole. But referees had broke it up. They had broke it up, and so Adam Cole, he had fled away. And so, yeah. And Kyle O'Reilly, he still got at Adam Cole. He was still beating up Adam Cole. And so, yeah, so the referees had broke it up again. And so Cole ran to the back. And O'Reilly, he had followed Adam Cole. And so Finn Balor, who was in the middle of the ring, he was watching the whole thing. He was in the ring by himself, holding the NXT championship. And so, yeah, Finn Balor, he looked at the corner of his eye. He looked from the corner of his eye. And he was like, what took you so long? And so the camera had zoomed out, and you saw Karrion Kross, who was staring at Finn Balor. And so they both were face to face. They were looking at each other. And then Kross, he said, "TikTok," and that was it. And that was the end of the show. You know, one thing I want to point out, dude. Did y'all see Kyle O'Reilly's elbow? His elbow, it looked like his elbow. It had like a huge baseball on his shoulder, not his shoulder, his elbow. Like, dude, it did not look good. He had the same injury that John Cena had. You remember that one point when John Cena had his elbow? His elbow was sticking out. Like, it was really bad, really bad. But yeah, so it looked like, yeah, Kyle O'Reilly, it looked like he's gonna be out for a little bit. But yeah, great match. But yeah, it was still okay. It was still an okay show. Wasn't the best show. I didn't like the outcome of the women's tag team match. And, you know, them taking the titles, you know, them crowning Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai titles the same night and having them defend it on the same night and having them lose it on the same night. I didn't like that either. That rubbed me the wrong way. But, yeah, other than that, it was still an okay show. It was a decent show. It wasn't all that good, but it was still okay. And so, yeah, that was it with the NXT review. And if you like this video, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Click on that bell. So you'll be, yeah, if you click on the bell, you'll be the first ones to know when my next video will come out. So make sure you subscribe and you turn on that bell so you don't miss out. And comment down below. Tell me how you felt about this episode of NXT. Share this video with each and every single person that you come across. And yeah, this has been the review for the NXT March 10th, 2021. And I'll see you guys on Saturday. Saturday for Impact Wrestling Sacrifice. Their pay-per-view Sacrifice. I'll be there. I'll watch the show. And I'll review it. Like always. And yeah, man, that's it. And once again, guys, thank you for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you missed my last week review of NXT. If you missed my last week review of NXT, the video is going to be right up here. Right up here. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for the support. And yeah, and this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and that's that.